The latest season of Fortnite is here and it brings plenty of awesome new content and gameplay, especially if you're a big weeb like me. So pick up your kinetic sword and hop on your Akira motorcycle so we can show you what your favorite Fortnite landing spot says about you. Mega City. First up, the sick new stuff. Fortnite Chapter 4 Season 2 did a complete overhaul of the southeastern quadrant of the map and replaced Season 1's faulty splits with a sprawling area full of Japanese-inspired locations. But the crown jewel of these new areas is Fortnite's biggest POI ever, Mega City. This zone certainly lives up to its name. It has massive skyscrapers, grind rails, new vehicles and weapons, tons of loot everywhere, and even another vault that can be accessed by defeating Highcard. The whole city is decked out in neon and gives up Japanese cyberpunk vibes, which is about as cool as you can get in design. If Mega City is your drop point of choice, you're probably a fan of Japanese culture, futuristic settings, or both. And you wouldn't be alone, because Mega City is always packed with players zipping on rails and slashing with techno katanas. It's so cool. And you probably love eating ramen, but honestly, I can't blame you for that one. I love it too. Kenjutsu Crossing. At the southernmost point on the map, we have Kenjutsu Crossing. This traditional Japanese village sits on top of a mountain and has a village full of buildings with plenty of loot, as well as a lavish temple complete with a courtyard at the highest point. If you want to practice your sword skill with a new kinetic blade, there's even a training room. Speaking of the kinetic blade, Kenjutsu Crossing is full of them. There are statues spread around the area that hold the new weapon, so this is a great place to go if you want to load up on those blades. So if your favorite spot to land is somewhere in Kenjutsu Crossing, you've probably dedicated your life to learning the ways of the blade. I get it, we all want to be Zoro, we all want to wield the cool blade and be an awesome samurai or join the demon corps, but like in every battle royale, there can be only one. And with all the kinetic blades on offer in the training room to learn more about them, Kenjutsu Crossing is the perfect place for aspiring swordspeople, or the coolest showdowns. Breakwater Bay. Sometimes you just want some peace and quiet in your highly competitive multiplayer shooting game. Being shot at constantly can take its toll, especially after a few rounds of Battle Royale. Thankfully, Fortnite Chapter 4 has a quaint fishing village for you to hide out in while things maybe get a little too rowdy. It's called Breakwater Bay, and has quite a few things going for it. Aside from its medieval theming and the killer views you get from its tiny castle, it occupies the northwest corner of the map along the coast, and it's pretty isolated from the other POIs. It has an unfortunate lack of loot due to its small size and few buildings, but it's a pretty safe place to drop. If Breakwater Bay is your favorite landing spot, you either love fishing, or you're willing to risk bad loot at the beginning of a match because you want to be able to just sneak up on other players who are fighting it out and just kind of pick them off third-party style. You sneaky dog. Lonely Labs. On the east coast of the map, opposite Breakwater Bay, there is a POI called Lonely Labs. It's part of the frozen area that takes up the entire northeast portion of the map, and it definitely earned its name. The Lonely Labs are isolated on a glacier that's pretty difficult to get to unless you use zip lines or wind tunnels. It's definitely too cold for me, but the handful of labs in the area tend to have at least some decent loot, and the difficulty in reaching the area means most players tend to avoid it. Like Breakwater Bay, that makes Lonely Labs pretty quiet, and an unlikely location for conflict. If you happen to get into a shootout with someone here, you probably should make friends with them, because they might be just as weird as you are. Or maybe if they are just as weird as you are, you need to take them out, because you know how weird you are, and if they're as weird as you, there can't be two of you. That being said, if you choose Lonely Labs as your landing spot instead of other POIs, match after match after match, you are just as cold and calculated as those labs are themselves. Taking only what you need before setting out into some surprise eliminations or trying to find other areas that people didn't loot, you are like a hitman crossed with an abominable snowman, which is pretty cold. You know what else is pretty cold? If you hit that subscribe button. Brutal Bastion. In the snow-covered northeast quarter of the map is a fortified encampment called Brutal Bastion. Located towards the center of the snowy region, it's surrounded by what seems like miles and miles of empty frozen land. Brutal Bastion is a maze of hallways, buildings, and towers filled with chests and even an NPC you can recruit to fight alongside you. If you bump into Highcard and his henchmen, and manage to take them down that is, you can even access a hidden vault located beneath the fortress. All this is cool, but unfortunately everyone knows that it's this cool. That makes this spot a highly desired place to land at the beginning of a match. If this is your favorite spot to land, you probably don't mind hitting the ground running and getting straight into a firefight, rather than taking time to gather resources and prepare. Or maybe you just want to get the fighting over with and you're a little impatient, and I get that. Unfortunately, this is not really a spot to cool off, ironically. Everyone knows the awesomeness that lies beneath Brutal Bastion, which makes it a highly desired place to land at the beginning of a match. If this is your favorite landing spot, you probably don't mind a cool spot to hot drop, and getting straight into a fight rather than taking time to gather resources and prepare is your cup of tea, which you'll probably need with how cold it is. Or you don't mind seeing an elimination screen seconds after a match starts. Not that ever happens to me, okay, yeah, no, it happens to me. Like, a lot. The Citadel. Once the location for a boss fight with an NPC called the Ageless. The Citadel now sits vacant on its hill without a ruler, though it is also possible to run the high card and his henchmen here. The Citadel is located south of Breakwater Bay on the northwest side, but it's much farther inland from the coast. That doesn't mean it's not easily defended though, since it's literally a fortress. There is plenty of loot to be found throughout the Citadel, as well as the small village below, so it's not a bad place to drop. However, without the Ageless around to defeat, you can't earn mythic gear, so it's not really a priority for most players. But maybe you're not most players. If you choose to land at the Citadel often, then it's probably for one reason. You are a sniping god, or want to become one. The top of the Citadel and the bridges around it make for 6 sniper perches for all of your long-range pew-pews. And if you land here, you're probably really good at leading shots, but bad at when you have to fight off multiple players at once and they get too close. And hey, I get it, that's kind of the thing I choke up on every time. It's like there's so many, I'm like, oh god, I'm panicking. Anvil Square. Continuing the medieval theme of Breakwater Bay and the Citadel is the landing spot that occupies near the center of the map. Whereas Breakwater Bay is a small fishing village and the Citadel is a massive fortress, Anvil Square kind of splits the difference. It is a large town made up of many more buildings than Breakwater, which are also larger to boot. More houses that are larger in size equals tons and tons of awesome loot opportunities. But that combined with the POI's centralness on the map means this town is turned into a war zone at the beginning of every match. Not the fun Call of Duty kind, but the turn a corner and oops, you're dead kind. Though maybe those actually are pretty similar to each other, or at least in my experience. If you consistently drop in Anvil Square for solos, you fancy yourself a one-person army, ready to take on every other player in the zone at the same time. And if it's your favorite spot to drop with a squad, then you're all probably thinking you're like the Expendables or something, a top-tier commando squad ready to go in and clear out, take everyone's name and chew bubblegum. Either way, you're probably looking to get into the action quickly, and you'll definitely find that here in Anvil Square. Just know that your results are going to vary from match to match. Slappy Shores. There's nothing like chugging down an ice-cold slap juice in the middle of a heated shootout. It just really calms your nerves, you know? That ability to frantically run away from all your problems doesn't get any better, right? If you love slap juice as much as I do, then Slappy Shores is probably a place you like to land. The zone has 2 sides, the slap juice factory and the neighborhood, which are separated by a river. It's a pretty great area because you can fill up on slap juice at the factory, cross the bridge, and zip around looting the houses on the other side. If Slappy Shores is your favorite place to land, you love to run and can't get enough of that juice, and you tend to run away from your problems. Shattered Slabs. Just a stone's throw away from the west coast of the map is a multi-leveled quarry called Shattered Slabs. The design of this area makes it very interesting to traverse, with plenty of areas to climb and zip lines to use to reach different levels. These same features also make it kind of a scary drop point, because you never know when another player is waiting around a corner on a higher level just waiting to take you out. Shattered Slabs also has these purple rocks called kinetic ore, scattered all around that have some pretty interesting interactivity. If you whack them a few times, they'll fly off in the same direction you hit them. Pretty similar to the stasis ability in Breath of the Wild, don't you think? Seems like Epic maybe watched too many of those compilations of the perfect one-hit executions. But that's not all there is to Shattered Slabs. It is yet another location where you can fight high card. And there is also another vault at the bottom of the quarry that contains mythic gear and tons of gold. If your go-to landing spot is Shattered Slabs, you're most likely there to get some easy eliminations from the high ground and then play around with rocks. Frenzy Fields. Home on the range, where the kids do the gritty and practice warp strategies. Down south on the map, we have a location called Frenzy Fields. This area is far different from the others because instead of some kind of high-tech or medieval setting, it's kind of just a farm. There's a barn, a house, some windmills, and tons of green fields surrounding it. Some players might be entranced by the beauty of the wide open spaces, but all I see is a lot of area without cover. The lack of buildings also means that there's not much loot to be found in this area, which makes it kind of a confusing pick for anyone's favorite, honestly. Maybe you love it for the scenery, or perhaps because it helps you live out your farming fantasies, or maybe you really like landing on a spot that no one else is gonna pick and also not get gear from it. I don't know. I mean, I guess hiding in hay bales and sneaking up on people in cornfields is fun, but this is kind of more a pass-through area later in the game. Knotty Nets. The coastline to the east of Mega City is home to the Japanese fishing village called Knotty Nets. Knotty Nets is kind of funny actually because it's like a Japanese themed version of Breakwater and it's on the direct opposite side of the map, just saying. Knotty Nets has the benefit of being isolated from the rest of the map and you need to take zip lines to get to and from the mainland, just like Lonely Labs. It's pretty easy to defend because of this, and the collection of buildings around the island have pretty good amounts of loot for the taking. If Knotty Nets is the landing spot you default to, you can appreciate classic Japanese architecture and you want access to Mega City without dropping into a hot zone right away. You let it cool first. You are the kind of person who will make yourself instant ramen, but also will give it a long enough time to cool that you won't burn your tongue. You're a weeb, but you have patience. Like you'll wait for the dub to release 2 weeks later because that's the way you want to do it. Steamy Springs. Hot springs. They always seem so relaxing in anime, but I could never visit one. See, I'd kind of rust, but more importantly, I would likely electrocute everyone enjoying the relaxing soak. So, yeah. But now, at least, I can try out an authentic hot spring in Fortnite's Steamy Springs. Sure, it's less relaxing when the bullets start flying, but the pink cherry blossoms, bamboo forests, and iconic architecture more than make up for it. Especially since there's not much loot to be had compared to the nearby Mega City. If Steamy Springs is your favorite place to land, then you're the kind of person that takes advantage of opportunities to relax whenever you can, no matter how dangerous they might even be. Free hot springs in the middle of a war zone? Sign you up. A quick nap at a red light? I can't condone it, but hey, you do you. What's your favorite landing spot? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to thank the bus driver.